Do you hear that? The distant bells. Sleigh bells? Oh no, December is coming. Hide! You're listening to the Vic Podcasters podcast, your bite-sized slice of podcasting know-how. We're here to connect Victorian podcasters. Whether you're just starting, a seasoned pro, or stuck in the one day I will phase, stop dreaming and dive in. Join our email list or hop onto our Facebook and LinkedIn groups for updates, resources, and a supportive community. Because podcasting is better when we do it together. Vic Podcasters is proudly produced on Wadawurrung land. Maybe let's not hide, but yes, it is October, the start of October technically as this is being recorded, and October is the prime time for planning. Arguably, technically, we could have easily put this episode earlier, but now that I've taken the time to record this episode, I wanted to ask you, and this is the perfect time for it, while you've still got bandwidth to think of this before the end of the year scramble, let's set your plans for your podcast in motion so you can stress later in the year where everything else in your life is going to be stressful. Think of it as like meal prepping for your podcast. Regarding your podcast, or if you're someone who has multiple podcasts, well done on you for managing all of those, is will you actually take a break? Will it be a full stop? Which is totally fine. You're allowed to rest, you're allowed to recuperate, as long as you communicate this to your audience. And I'm going to be saying that a lot this episode. Communicate to your audience what your plans are. Making sure that you set those expectations early enough. So mention it in air in the actual episode or in your outro as you're leading up to that date. Update your episode descriptions and socials so that people know when you're coming back, so they don't just scrub you from their phone as soon as you don't post for a week or two. Everyone is busy, everyone else is busy, but if they don't see you appear, they will probably forget about you and then unsubscribe because you're not posting and you were just taking a break. But because you didn't communicate that, they don't know. That is option one. You can take a break and that is totally fine. Make sure you communicate it. The second option is to keep it rolling with a summer series. So a summer series is pre-recorded, light, easy to produce episodes that are like top tips, favorites, lists, tier lists, content that is easy for you to react to or create that you can post during those times that are essentially shorter episodes than your usual thing. You can also use this time to run a flashback series where you re-release old hit episodes with, say, new intros or maybe some of your thoughts as the episode has changed since then. This is great for new listeners and people who may have missed these episodes earlier on in your cycle of podcasting. You can also take this opportunity to do mini episodes. So different from summer series where they're lighter fare, these are specifically mini episodes that are more like check-ins to keep you on top of mind that are around about, could be 3 minutes. Essentially, you want to give people easy to do tips because of course they've got everything else going on in their life, especially around these holidays and time of year. So in those moments, making sure that you make it easy for your audience, even if you are a purely entertainment podcast, to keep them updated about what is going on in your world as the podcast and podcast host, but also in the world of whatever your topic is about. Vic Podcasters, I'm pausing your podcasting experience to let you know that I have my own podcast, the Unboring Your Brand podcast. So if you have a personal brand or you are a small business owner who wants to leverage their personal brand without the boring stuff, follow me on Unboring Your Brand podcast. Check out the one by the Video Confidence Coach. Bye. As we are now in October, things to plan now is your episode release schedule from November to January of the next year. Look at your calendar and be honest about your capacity. Now, good, you're looking at your calendar, you're being honest, now slash that in half because things are going to happen, things are going to be stressful, and it's going to be a lot less capable than you think you should be. So in those moments, making sure that you do less to achieve more. Communicate with your audience. Let them know what to expect and when to expect it. And if the things have changed, let them know. Now, also, while you're thinking about this and planning stuff out, plan your recording schedule. Do your best to batch episodes. If you are doing a summer series or a mini series or even a flashback series, what are things that you can bunch together that you can plan out and say, I want to release these next 8 episodes, boom, 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 boom. Okay, let's record 30-second to 1 to 2 minute intros for each of these things. Awesome, good. You're planning. Well done. Congratulations. As you are listening to this podcast, I want you to take the opportunity to, like I said, look at your calendar, block off any off mic weeks, and making sure that you take that time to relax and breathe. Decide whether or not you are taking a break, a summer series, flashbacks, or mini episodes. And make sure to tell your audience by November or by December what your plans are. Because I'm going to tell you now that there is going to be a very big dip around the December to January period, no matter what podcast you are, because everyone's life is in shambles because, family, holidays, stress. So take that time to not be stressed about your podcast. Think about your audience's point of view. Life gets bananas around about November to December, and even in January. There are school events, there are work deadlines, there are late night shopping sprees, and there is just so much to do. And if you don't want to be recording on Christmas Eve, make sure that you can do something for future you who wants a beach day and not burning out. Episodes to check out in our archive, speaking of checking out older episodes, we have episode 19, Communicate Your Holiday Posting Schedule. We are always on about what we need to do here at the Vic Podcasters. Or episode 22, which is about admitting you ghosted. So when that tiny break that you're initially planned maybe takes more like 6 months, make sure to use that episode to get you back on board and to not ghost your audience. That's a wrap. Remember, we're here every week to share quick tips, updates, and the occasional bad joke. Feeling inspired? Good. Now hit record or go to the show notes of this episode for a backstage pass experience of the Victorian podcasting scene. The Vic Podcasters would like to acknowledge and pay our respects to the Wadawurrung people of the Kulin Nation, the traditional custodians on the land on which we work, live and play. We pay our respects to their elders past and present. We stand with the traditional custodians of these lands in working towards a more equal future. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. And remember, podcasting doesn't have to be a solo gig.